Hello and welcome back to my mom's basement. It is Robbie Fox, and I am here with Dana White ahead of UFC 270. It is a awesome pay-per-view card. It's the first pay-per-view card of the year. We just had our first UFC card of the year, which was awesome as well. Great main event. Calvin Cater came up huge from Massachusetts when unfortunately the Patriots couldn't. Not to take a shot, but he made some Patriots fans happy that night. How are you, Dana?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I saw that you literally just announced Paddy the Baddy's next opponent and fight on the Dave Portnoy show. So thank you for giving Barstool the scoop and everything. It's going to be my first time in the UK ever when he fights there. So I just wanted to ask you,
Yeah,
do you like London? Do you like the UK? I know that's not official yet, but
right. Exactly. It's not official. And of course, as soon as I told Portnoy, what's his name? Jared Gordon's manager. Oh, I don't know anything about them. But fucking, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't like doing that shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You always got some fucking goofball that's gonna come out and go, oh, I haven't heard anything about it. Call the fucking matchmakers then, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, somebody asked me something and I look at the board. That's what's being worked on.
So let's say that this comes to fruition and the card gets put together in London. Do you like London? Do you like going there?
Yeah, yeah, love London. It's one of those places that I looked at when we first bought the UFC. I looked at Mexico. I looked at UK, traditionally big boxing countries. You know what I mean? And I figured we'd make a big impact, and it's been awesome. It's been, the thing is too when you have these fights in the UK, the energy of the fans is so different because these guys are used to singing and chanting and cheering, and it's a great energy, man. If you're American UFC fan and you've been going to UFCs all over, you have to do one in England eventually. It's a cool experience.
I can't wait. Speaking of cool experiences, this is our first interview of 2022 together. So I wanted to go back a little bit and ask about the UFC Holiday Party, which is always a bit of a legendary storied night, right? So this year you had Kid Rock. It looked like a great time. Was it a great time? How was the holiday party this year?
It was awesome. Kid Rock killed it. He played like he was playing, in a stadium of 20,000 people. Then he hung out and partied with us after. And your girl Lene was the one that ran this whole Christmas party this year. She didn't have any
Really?
fun, but everybody else did. Yeah.
Well, who are the other like previous big guests and musicians that you guys have had for prior years? For the people that don't know, like the UFC always does it big.
Oh yeah. Every year we throw Christmas parties. My team works hard, man. We grind it out over here. We're doing fights every Saturday. Late minute replacement. When a late minute replacement happens, so many things have to happen from production, artwork to PR. The list goes on and on. So this crew works hard. We've had the Red Hot Chili Peppers play. We've had Snoop. We've had Gary Clark Jr. We've had Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Trying to think of some of the other. We've had Kid Rock twice.
Is he the first two-timer? First guy brought back?
He's the first. Yeah, he's the first two-timer.
Has Rage ever done it or no?
No, we've never had Rage. Rage would be insane. The problem is with a Rage, like I got to come up with groups that everybody is into. Now as the company is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it's tough to find new acts that everybody likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rage.
One,
They'd
one of
be
my,
doing killing in the
you
name.
know,
There'd be some office workers. Like, what the fuck is going on
well,
here?
one guy that I would love to be in that would be incredibly fun, and I know everybody would love it. I've seen him twice. Is Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah,
Bruno
of
Mars.
course.
If you ever come to Vegas and the residency for Bruno Mars is going on, you have to go see Bruno Mars live. He's unfucking believable.
Just an absolute showman, right?
Absolute showman, incredible performer, and his whole band. It looks like they're having the best fucking time of their life while they're playing, which translates to you, and that makes you have the best time of your life. It's one of the greatest live shows you will ever see.
I got to see him so early on in his career. He only had like a couple hits. He had the I Want to Be a Millionaire song that was huge. And he was on a festival going right before Motley Crue. So it was like me and my brother and a bunch of like, metalheads basically. And he
Right,
absolutely crushed in front of that audience. So like I could only
right.
imagine now when he's headlining, when he's got his show, I would love to see that.
I'm telling you right now, if you're ever in Vegas, he has a residency that's all the time. Do not miss the opportunity to see Bruno Mars live. It's incredible.
All right, so we're here to talk about UFC 270, though. It's this weekend. We've got Francis Ngannou versus Gane. This is a heavily anticipated heavyweight matchup. And Ngannou's talking about taking half of his earnings in Bitcoin today. Did you see that?
He wants to be paid in Bitcoin?
So he said he partnered up with Cash App, and he said he's taking half of his earnings from this fight in Bitcoin.
Fascinating. Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but I agree with you on the other stuff. Yes, there's tons of drama, built in around this fight already. There's the bad blood between him and Ciryl Gane in the camp. But at the end of the day, you have the interim champion versus the champion, two of the baddest heavyweights in the world. One guy on a 5-fight win streak, champ, and 100% finish rate, incredible knockout power. Ciryl Gane, undefeated, 10-0. And arguably the greatest technical striker in the history of the heavyweight division. So it's not like you have some, knockout artist against a jiu-jitsu guy. He's got to get him to the ground. These are two strikers that, this thing's going to play out over 5 rounds, and anything can happen.
If it goes all 5 rounds. I mean, with these two guys, it might play out over 30 seconds.
Sure,
it might play out over 10 seconds. Yeah. I can't wait for this fight. I also can't wait for the co-main event.
Me too. I agree. And in the co-main event, Brandon Moreno, first ever Mexican-born UFC champion, and Figueiredo, who is an absolute savage, is, I just saw some pictures of him earlier. The dude is absolutely shredded right now, in great shape, which means he's obviously taking this fight very serious. So that should be a fun one too. And I cannot express this enough. You can't believe what a huge star Brandon Moreno is for us already. You're going to see it Saturday night when he walks into this arena.
I was just about to ask, how much has his superstardom blown up in Mexico since he won the title? Just straight up.
And not only Mexico here with the Mexican Americans. I mean, when we do appearances and Brandon Moreno is the guy that we have for the appearance, it's insane.
It's not only the Mexican Americans, it's the nerds too. He's one of us. He's a guy who collects Legos, he builds Lego sets, and he made it all the way to the top kicking ass. It's honestly very unlikely.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Who do you have your eyes on for this year, maybe having that Brandon Moreno-esque rise in the UFC?
Ooh, that's a good question. Obviously the low-hanging fruit, the easy one to pick is probably Hamza Chimaev. I mean, if this guy fights 3 times this year, who knows what's possible with that kid?
Do you expect to see him soon?
I hope so, yeah. I don't know what to expect this year with all this nutty shit going on again. So we will see.
You've also got Pereira on the card, who's just a back-flipping lunatic. Do you like the flips when you're watching him fight? And he does one of these crazy moves that are just signature for him at this point. Are you like, that's awesome, like the rest of us? Or are you like, oh, what are you doing, man?
No, I mean, your fighting style, whatever your fighting style is all up to you. The flips that I don't like are the celebration flips off the top of the octagon and all this other stuff where you just won the fight, you look great, you're super marketable, boom, ACL gone, out for a year.
Yeah, even the Johnny Walker, like him doing the worm, him getting hurt doing the worm, like the celebrations where you get injured, that's a little embarrassing.
100%.
Yeah.
Makes me crazy.
So there's been a lot of talk over the pay-per-view price increase, and I know this is an ESPN deal. The UFC can't have control over this. Is there any way the UFC would be able to put together like a bundle deal for the fans that are committed to like, hey, I'm going to buy every pay-per-view this year? They know that. Is there any way that could be made?
Yeah, well, I think they did. I mean, we just they just announced the deal is they do have a bundle.
Okay,
they do have a bundle that goes along with this first pay-per-view. And I think if you buy the bundle, the first pay-per-view is free.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal then. All right. So people look out for that. I got a lot of tweets about it. So everyone look out for the bundle then. That would be definitely a good option for the hardcore fans.
Yeah, I think what I need to do is address it. I'll put, thanks for telling me that. I'll put something together today and post it.
Yeah, absolutely. This one, I hope you don't hate me for asking this, but Henry Cejudo has been poking his head out of retirement and saying, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting that? I want to ask you, when he initially retired a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever that might have been, did you believe that he was actually done? Because I felt like I didn't. I was like, it feels like he's about to take a couple years off and come back for the title picture. Yeah,
no, when you tell me you're retiring, I believe you. And, the only guy that I've really chased after was Habib, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
because I believe Habib retired at the peak of his career. I mean, he's the most dominant he's ever been. And, you know, I tried to keep Cormier around a little longer too. But, you know, nobody has more respect for Cejudo and what he did. I've told him a million times about it. But the truth of the matter is, first of all, he's talking about coming out of, you know, he's talking to a guy on social media, you know, going back and forth with him, to mention the fact that he's not in the USADA drug pool. And if you really want to come back, what you don't do is you don't send a few tweets. You have your manager get on the phone and call your matchmaker, and you start doing what you need to do to get back and fight. So to take you seriously, that's why the other day at the press conference, I was like, this is a silly conversation. Why are we even talking about this? Why are you even asking me about this? Like, oh, he's getting, you know, oh, he's getting disrespected or this or that's happened. This isn't the way you do it. First of all, you need to get back in the USADA pool and get on the phone, have your manager get on the phone and get in here and get you a fight, if that's really what you want to do. Or do you want to argue with me publicly about, you know, that you should have the Alexander Volkanovski? Come on.
Yeah, and Korean Zombie now has that fight, which is an incredibly exciting matchup. Like for me, for a long time UFC fans, for a long time Zombie fans, like him getting this title shot's amazing. I'm hoping that, like, oh my God, could you imagine he wins the title? That would be insane after this long career that he's had. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to that fight.
I agree. And the great thing for Volkanovski, and I got to give credit to Kevin Iole for this one, because he literally just brought this up. You know, when you look at Volkanovski now, he's beat Holloway twice, Brian Ortega, and now he's gonna fight the Korean Zombie. And you know, if he wins this fight too, I mean, wow. I mean,
it's a serious champion.
Yep.
Talking about like Henry Cejudo, like possibly coming back from retirement. Like, do you look at fighters differently when they come back from retirement? It's happened multiple times in the UFC. You know, someone retires, they come back. Do you think their mindset changes?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, when you're in it, like these guys are in it, like a Volkanovski, who's taking on all comers right now. You know what I mean? He had to fight Matt twice. You know, Brian Ortega, who is an absolute savage. Now he's going into a match with the Korean Zombie. This is a guy who's stamping his legacy right now. You know, when you look as good as Henry Cejudo did in his last fight, and then you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to go take off, and you're gone for a couple of years. And I don't know.
Might vary fighter to fighter. What's the latest word on Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz? They've been going back and forth. The UFC's been saying maybe we're put it on, right? Maybe that won't happen now. Maybe it will.
There's no word.
No word.
There's no word on it yet. No.
Is that a fight that, like, personally, would you really want to try to put that together? That seems intriguing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they want it bad enough and the fans want to see it, yeah, we'll do it.
All right. So it's just a hold up on the fighter's end, would you say?
No, I mean, right now I'm in the war room now. We have fights booked all the way till May 7th. Yeah, we got our whole roster laid out. This is what I always say, you know, this machine just keeps rolling, man.
Speaking of fights that may not happen, this one probably won't. I saw Mark Hunt challenge you and both Fertitta brothers to a 3-on-1 match in the octagon. I assume you won't take him up on that challenge?
Yeah. That sounds like that's going to happen.
He wants to decide the lawsuit via fight, via 3-on-1 fight.
Yeah. Cuckoo. He's a little cuckoo, that guy.
Did you see the news about Amanda Nunes leaving American Top Team this week?
I didn't see it, but I did hear about it from Mick today. Mick told me. I don't think it's one of those things where she's leaving Top Team. I think she just wants to open her own gym.
Do you think it has to do with Kayla Harrison possibly signing or no?
I don't think so. You? No, I don't think she cares about that. Let me tell you what. Amanda Nunes is one of the sweetest human beings on the planet. She's a good person. She doesn't have a bad bone in her body. And if I had to guess, because you never know with the media and what they write and all their bullshit, I would imagine that it's a friendly split. She's going to open her own gym. You know, I know she loves Dan and Dan loves her. So I don't think it's a negative thing.
Speaking of how things can get twisted in the media and stuff, would you ever consider doing like the Dana White show, quote unquote, like how Dave kind of does his show, the Dave Portnoy show that you were on earlier today? Or do you feel like the media that you do, like you get ahead of that stuff as much as possible just doing that?
It's impossible to get ahead of the bullshit that the media comes out with. You could never get ahead of it. You know what the truth is? I really don't give a shit. That's the truth. So, there's always going to be stuff that's going to be said. There's tons of stuff that comes out that's untrue, about me and about the business and all that stuff. You just have to get to a point in your life where you just give a shit. And I don't. So,
yeah, I hope I get to that point soon. Yeah, it seems
yeah,
like a good place
trust
to be.
me, you will. You're young. You'll get there. It's a great place to be. Most of the stuff that I hear that comes back to me, I don't even know about it because I don't read it. Because I don't care. I could care less. I know what we're doing over here. We do our thing, and we keep growing the sport. We keep making it bigger for everybody. And I tune out. Most of the shit too. That people that are talking shit know nothing about this sport. Zero. They know nothing about it.
The PFL recently self-proclaimed themselves as the #2 MMA promotion in the world behind the UFC. Would you agree with that assessment at this point?
I don't know enough about their business. I don't know enough about it, but hey, good for them.
All right. And then 2 fun questions to close us out. What is the best and worst Fuck It Friday that you ever made or ever ate?
The pickles.
The Kool-Aid pickles were the worst.
Yeah. That was the worst. Let me tell you what, the spaghetti sandwich, I'll eat that every day for lunch to never eat one of those fucking pickles again. But the pickle pizza that I had was awesome.
Wow.
Very good. I would never expected that. It was incredible.
So do you like pickles?
I like pickles.
I don't like them dunked in Kool-Aid. I gotcha.
I like pickles and I like Kool-Aid, but I don't like pickles in Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So what was the best one? Was it like the pickle pizza was the best Fuck It Friday you ever had or no?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I could call that the best because some of the burgers that I've had. Oh, and the original Fuck It Friday, the one that started everything, the fried chicken with the Krispy Kreme donuts as the bread was one of the biggest winners ever too.
The Hangover Fridays.
It's hard to pick
really
one
good.
So there's been some great Fuck It Fridays.
All right, and then finally, what is the most memorable thing you've ever done on Looking for a Fight for you? When you look back at some of the ridiculous things that you've done on that show, what's the most memorable?
The bull ride.
Yeah.
Oh,
is it because you wound up getting a bull too?
I own like, how many bulls we own now? 4? Yeah, we own 4 bulls now.
4 bulls?
Yeah, 4 bulls.
Name them all when you buy them, or do they just have names?
Do they have names? Yeah, one is White Thunder. The other one is Bling. We got F-Bomb and oh God, what's the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of the 4th one is. But my bulls just wrecked some riders. Sour Diesel. Sour Diesel is the other one.
Nice.
And 2 of the 3 bulls just wrecked some cowboys last weekend, and they had to go to the hospital. But shit, what was I going to tell you?
The bull riding on.
Anyway, they're out competing right now. Oh yeah, so the guy, one of the riders that was riding them, you remember when I rode the bull that when he threw me, I skidded across the dirt and his feet landed right by my stomach, and we didn't have the proper gear on. We were like, our producer on that show. Anyway, so we didn't have the proper gear to ride bulls, but we did it. And I didn't know we were actually going to ride PBR bulls. I thought we were going to ride like baby bulls or some shit. So we get there, we decide we're going to do it. So we do it. And when his feet came down, it just happened that my bull landed on the rider, knocked him unconscious, and broke his leg, I think. It looked like his leg was broken. I don't know if that's a fact, but when the feet come down on you, without a doubt, the dumbest thing we did. And the second dumbest thing we ever did was when we went out to Florida and had those boats chumming up the water, and we had all those fucking sharks going in a crazy frenzy, and we were swimming out there with them, man. Those were the dumbest things we've ever done on Looking for a Fight.
Do you think you've gotten better with it now? If something dumb like that gets pitched, you'll say no to it?
I don't know. The difference is, too, it's like I'm so banged up now. It's like, remember when I wouldn't jump off the cliff in Hawaii?
Yeah.
I literally had just got done with shoulder surgery. So it wasn't that I'm not saying that, listen, I wasn't looking down and going, oh shit, this is whatever. But all I kept thinking about is I'm going to jump off this cliff and I'm going to blow my shoulder out again. And I'm going to need shoulder surgery again. So, I mean, listen, let's just say I'm not what I was, 5 fucking years ago. I'm old and banged up.
You got to start carrying around a mini-me. You got to have a little Dana White that could do that stuff for you now.
I got to have a stunt double.
Yeah, exactly. It could be your bodyguard. He looks just like you. He could be your stunt double.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Yeah. All right, Dana, thank you so much for the time. UFC 270, looking forward to it this weekend. And, of course, a great year ahead for the UFC in 2022.
Always a pleasure, brother.